Hello, it's the beginning of August and we've started bottling veg. We've done some fruit earlier, but now it's the cucumber season, so we started bottling cucumbers. I put them in water first, in cold water, because then they are more tender when you put them in jars. Just leave them there for a few hours, an hour. Some people leave it even overnight, and then they're not like wibbly wobbly. And I use small ones, like this, like whole, like gherkins. And we are also bottling zucchini today, because they've started, there are plenty of them. When they are young, you bottle them just like cucumbers, the same. The only difference is that first I put them in salt. I just sprinkle some salt on them, leave them like that for an hour, and then it's important to rinse them. Once I didn't and they were disgusting. So you rinse them and then they're more flexible. It's easier to put many into the jar and they absorb the liquid. So we use some dill, good dill in the garden this year, sliced onions, a lot of crime, and sliced cucumbers. This will be like cucumber salad with onions. I've already mixed it with onions. Salted, but a little bit, and I don't rinse them, I just salt them gently. When the zucchini are too big, when they are turning into marrows and the seeds are too hard, I cut them like this, and then they are very nice. I also use some chili, optional, but then they're more interesting. Some peppers, red and yellow, mainly for color. And today I'll put some cauliflower as well. It may, the small pieces, not cooked, like raw. It will be very, very crispy. And some garlic. You don't have to peel it. Then it will give a little bit, let it lavender color to the liquid. So this is one jar. Sometimes I mix. It looks more colorful, and when you have guests in the winter, they're always impressed because the veg is very nice, crispy, good for lunch or whatever, just sometimes even for decoration. So this is already done. Just some veg put into a jar and added like cold liquid. And this liquid, the proportions are the most important ingredients: water and vinegar. The proportions 5:1. So for example, 5 glasses of water, 1 glass of vinegar, 1 glass or less of sugar. It looks, seems like quite a lot of sugar, but if you put too little, they're too bitter. So very often I just taste the liquid a bit. It tastes very nice, very sweetish, not too sweet. And I boiled it with some bay leaf, allspice and pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. So you use 1 glass of sugar, a teaspoon of salt. Sometimes I also add the secret mix. This is mustard mixed with honey, 1:1. And then I add a spoonful to a jar like that, a spoonful, 2 spoonfuls, and it makes those cucumbers very nice and sweetish. I think it's the best thing. Like mustard, the best one is French mustard with whole mustard seed in it, but this normal mustard is okay as well. And you have to put everything in sterilized jars. I do mine like this, it's the easiest way. I used to boil them, but it was very messy in the kitchen and too much fuss. So now I just clean them, put them into the oven 120, 150 degrees for about 10 minutes, and it's enough. I do the same with the lids. And once they are sterilized, you just put some inside. Well, you can put whatever you want actually, yeah. some cucumbers, some dill. The whole plant, just remove the root. It's good to put, optional, but it's good to put a bit of horseradish as well. Root. The whole root just cut. You may also put a bit of the leaf.
Can you use horseradish sauce, or does it have to be a root?
No, it has to be a root, because otherwise this liquid will be too mushy, ugly. Root. And we can also put some blackberry leaves. Not too many, but will give a special flavor. So again, some onions, whatever you want. But this has to be simple. Like those gherkins, they have to be simple. Again, some garlic. Let's say 2 cloves for a jar like that. That's perfectly enough. And you have to put as many as you can, not to waste your jars. And our jars, well, we don't buy them every year, we just recycle. These have been used probably for 3-4 years. You clean them, sterilize them well.
How big is that jar?
This is 1 liter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for cucumbers you need big jars because you wouldn't put them into anything smaller. Then again, some onion.
So that just has cucumbers, onion,
Garlic,
horseradish,
and dill.
Okay.
Simple. And then the same liquid for all those pickles. I had to boil quite a lot. So here I've got, not in this pot, but generally for all this veg I had to cook 3 liters of vinegar. Now 1.5 liters of vinegar plus water. And now Ivan will help me close them properly. It's a bit quite tight. And it's important that this liquid is cold. Once I put hot liquid with my cucumbers and they were too soft. They were not crispy.
So you boil it.
You boil it. You boil this liquid. You cool it down. Once it's cold, you put it in jars. And then into the oven again. This is the easiest way. Into the oven again. The jars cannot touch each other. So a little bit of space between the jars. And then again a little bit above 100 degrees. The other option is to put those jars into water, into pots with water, but then you have to put a cloth at the bottom, and the water in the pot has to have more or less the same temperature as this liquid in the jar, because if something's too hot then the jar will break. And then you can just put the jars into this water and cook very, very slowly. But then the highest temperature you can get is a bit below 100 degrees.
But it's easier to put them into the oven, isn't it?
Easier, you can put more into the oven and the temperature is higher, so it kills all the germs and it preserves them well. But to have those veg crispy, you leave them in the oven only for about 10-15 minutes. Only so that the lid is sealed well and it doesn't go off in winter. And this is my favorite because it's the easiest. When you open a jar in winter, it's you just eat it
What's this one?
Salad. It's cucumber salad. This is sliced cucumbers with sliced onions, and if you use a knife it will take you ages. This saves a lot of time. So cucumbers, onion, some chili, some pepper can be sliced. Again, about 2 cloves of garlic. The spices are in this liquid, so you don't need to add anything here.
Okay, 10 seconds left.
10 seconds left. So, enjoy and tell us about your experiments, because you can use any veg you want. Thank you.